BlabberMalt Show, episode 91, February 18th, 2025.
Woo!
It's
crazy.
Yeah. Once again, we're back at Medina Brewing Company, right?
Yes.
It's been a
Home
while.
sweet home. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
But we have some things to celebrate today.
Yes, we do. We got brewer extraordinaire Mike Perman here.
Look forward to talking to Mike.
here.
Yeah. Proud to have Mike on our team and brewing great beer down here in Medina for everybody, and some updates on that. Get a chance to talk to you and see what's going on down here in Medina and what we got in the tanks now, what's coming up soon, and all those wonderful things.
Yeah, we're going to share a flight of beer here.
Yeah.
Taste what's been going on.
Absolutely. Before that, Dave.
Yeah, how was your weekend, man?
It was good. It was good. But before I talk about weekend, how about people get a hold of us?
They want to get a hold of us? Yeah.
It's nice. They might not want to, but it'd be really good if they did.
Well, we do a show, if you don't know, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. We're usually out and about somewhere, or we're back in the studio. We talk about beer, brewing, and bull crap.
Yep.
BlabberMalt Show, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. We are at BlabberMalt. Also on X and Threads and all the places.
Yeah, we're going live tonight, and we're also streaming live on Northeast Ohio Craft Brewery News.
We are.
Where you get all your news in the craft beer world in Northeast Ohio. Great place for that.
Yes.
Make sure you like and share, subscribe, hit that button down here somewhere. Might not be on our screen now, but it's down there, especially on YouTube and Facebook.
You know how to do it. You know how the internet
Come
works.
on, smash that thing. Helps us out. Gets people checking out different breweries and seeing what's going on in the world. And I think we have, after this weekend, a lot of people interested in getting on the show again.
I think you're right. Yeah.
That's great.
We're like 660 followers on Facebook.
Hey, woo!
Yeah, we need that
I know it
700.
doesn't seem
We
like
got
a
to
whole
hit
bunch,
700.
right? For whatever reason, Facebook followers have not followed the number of views we get every week. So let's up that to the thousands of views we get. So come on, guys. Like, share, follow, boom, all those things. Get on the Beacons link, too. No one's wearing any swag, but we should.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I misplaced my BlabberMalt hoodie.
Oh, man.
I think it's up in Marblehead.
Well, go to the link in our what is it, Printify below, and get yourself a nice little hoodie while it's still cold outside. Soon it's going to be t-shirt weather, hats, glasses, mugs, all the swag you want. Customize it however you want to do it. How about Dave? This is not cheap. These mics weren't cheap.
Yeah.
The pennies you get on every sweatshirt.
Yeah. Buy 10.
By 10. It'd be helpful. Yeah. So my weekend. What was my weekend? Friday night was at the brewery. We were kind of slow. It was, I guess, Valentine's Day. It was on Friday.
Yeah.
So I took the opportunity to skip down here to Medina, check out this wonderful joint on Ice Festival weekend.
We snuck into Lorraine Brewing Company
right as I was exiting.
And you had just left. You know,
I had just left.
Yeah.
I saw you check a beer. I'm like,
Got
what? I'm right
the
there.
Bluey, and it just came back on, talked to Ken, talked to Dan. Yeah, it was a good time.
It was a good time. So came down here. It's kind of late already. I was here about an hour and a half till like 9:30. Talked to Liz. Said hi to some people. Watched them do the ice luge, and drove around the square once and kind of checked out all of the ice sculptures. Got a picture of what we got going on here. We had a really nice ice sculpture. It's just a wonderful opportunity to showcase Medina and the winter, kind of a kick, finalizing the winter season down here. What's one of the things we love about Medina is that winter. It is from October 31st to
July 1st.
Now, really. So it's just Medina's on the National Registry of Christmas venues, and so Christmas towns. You got to check it out. So if you haven't been down here at all for Christmas, you should do that. We're still up. There's a couple Christmassy things still left here. Still Christmas season in Medina. Come check it out down here. Saturday, just word to the brewery. And, it's right. Almost forgot about Saturday. We'll talk about it later.
Right. Yeah.
How did I forget? I have no idea. All the days go together. Stouted Out Loud was on Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that later. That was a wonderful event at Butcher and the Brewer, and then went back to the brewery, and then Sunday just kind of hung out, coached the boys basketball. Snow happened. Did some paperwork. Got some things coming up on our end that need some attention. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much what happened this weekend. How about you?
Well, we test drove a Jeep for my wife. She can't really hear us right now. We test drove a Jeep. Yeah. She's pretty excited about that. She's got an older Jeep, but she wants to get a new one, and this thing was tricked out. It was murdered out with the lift and the big tires and the off-road bits and bobs. And woo! Yeah.
Did you get it?
I need no. I need to get another job to afford that thing. But yeah.
Still enough for a date day, right? Just go drive a Jeep together and.
Yeah. I said, I don't know, honey. I can't afford this thing. But we're going to. This was the Rubicon X. It's like the top of the top. So we'll see. See what a Sahara prices out to be. Maybe we can get that a little bit. She's over giving me the stink eye, so let's get off of that. What else did I do this weekend?
So I'm going to be fair. I'm going to talk about it just for your sake, right? Dave, you did spend a lot of money on podcasting equipment. So,
cut the mics. Cut it. Stop.
No, I think that's fun. Keep in mind for your old Jeep, though. I don't know. You never know.
Yeah. We also, our friends, the Terrans, had a French dinner party for, kind of a Valentine's Day thing on Saturday. And they, Sherry is a great cook. She cooked nice, authentic French dinner. All they asked is, find a nice bottle of French wine, bring it, and we'll all share them. So me being the jackass I am, I found a 3-liter box of French wine and brought that. It was not good at all. But we had a good time. So wine on Saturday.
Today is National Drink Wine Day, I think, or
Is it?
International Drink Wine Day, I think. So we don't have a barley wine for us or anything.
Yeah. Mike, what'd you get into this weekend?
But Saturday, I hung out with this guy. Started out.
Yeah.
So great time as always. We'll obviously talk about it a little bit more, but bar none, I think one of the best festivals, at least in the wintertime, before winter warmer hits. Always a fun time at Started Out.
Yeah.
The venue itself's awesome. The breweries that are there are awesome. I mean, you really probably couldn't pick a better group of breweries to go to that one. So
Yeah, I was jealous. We didn't make it. I was at a French dinner party drinking wine. So yeah.
I mean, oysters can get kind of expensive. So I mean,
True.
You probably saved a lot of money by buying the 3-liter bottle of wine.
Yes,
more so than the multiple rounds of oysters I had.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm not complaining.
So then I just came in on Sunday down here, braved the conditions for a little bit on Sunday, came on, checked on some tanks, and did a couple odds and ends, and
Nice.
got out.
Nice. And now we're into the week on the BlabberMalt Show.
Rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
One thing that we want to highlight today is Mike. I do really want to take the opportunity to introduce you. I mean, when we get you back in the studio, we kind of want to do a little bit more of that, but introduce you to not just all of the people in the BlabberMalt world, but also everybody who follows kind of Lorraine Brewing, Medina Brewing, and let you know what who you are, that you are brewing for us here. You are our Medina Pub brewer, and you're putting out some great beers. We have 4 on tap right now that you started, and I think they want to kind of walk through some of those with you and Dave, and so you can do that. Talk about yourself, where you came from, what the as we work together, what the vision is for down here, and how that looks, and talk about your day job a smidge and all the other things that you do, because this guy right here is knocking it out of the park. So I'm going to give you guys the mic. You can talk through the beers and talk about life and enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, I was looking back. It was November 23. We had Mike on episode 34, the BlabberMalt Show. So go back and check out episode 34 and actually 35. 34, we were out with you at Ghost Tree, taking a tour out there, and then back in the studio, we talked a little about you as a brewer in the studio, got a little, more podcasty, but that was a lot of fun. But it's been a long time.
And even before that, there was the first infamous pumpkin beer tasting event
That's
that
right.
I
Yeah,
participated in
that's right.
at
Forgot about that.
in studio there. I don't know if I've had a full pint of a pumpkin beer since then.
No.
I probably just stayed with the little samples,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
I don't know if I could put myself through a full pint.
Yeah. Well, no. That's fair.
It was very fun,
It's fair.
but I mean, they still taste great. I just
yeah. It's like once every 2 years is enough.
events like that, palate killers. I just
Yeah.
lost the taste for pumpkin.
So
no, they're fun.
they are fun. Yeah.
That's a lot to do.
Moderation.
Yeah.
Work.
Moderation is key. So we got a flight in front of us here. We're gonna.
We do.
We have the same.
We do.
Okay.
I'm
Oh, we're
opposite side here. So
opposite. Gotcha.
we
Okay.
yeah. So obviously been part of the team down here for several months now. I started helping Andrew back in June of last year, and when Andrew departed back in August, I've been handling the lagering and the Pilsner creation down here in Medina ever since. Having a blast at it. Obviously as a home brewer, lagers have been my specialty for 3 or 4 years. So when Matthias, called with that opportunity, I was originally taking the summer off to spend time with the family, go boating some more. It lasted about 4 days before Matthias called me and said, "I need help in Medina. I know you like to do lagers. Run with it. Let's have some fun." And it has been a blast.
Yeah.
Obviously, running, the light beer, Medina Light here, running the light beer, the Mexican lager, stuff like that. And we're kind of going to go through it tonight, Pilsners, some fun with, some ales that, kind of breaking the mold a little bit, all the way up to, kind of some bigger lagers that people wouldn't normally think about. So it's been a blast. The reception's been awesome to see, with, the local crowd here. I think one thing that's made this so much fun for me being down in Medina so far is the regulars and the locals. As Matthias hinted, is just a city itself. Medina is very unique, very based on traditions and everything like that. I saw a little bit of the Ice Festival the other day. I could never get over how many festivals the city has, and fortunately, all those festivals usually bring in a nice big crowd here.
Yeah, they like to celebrate with beer. Apparently.
Exactly.
And this is a Tuesday night, and we got a pretty good crowd here tonight.
Yeah, and so it's nice because usually right when a beer taps, I'm usually here on the evenings or on a Sunday or so. I do work an 8 to 5. Brewing unfortunately cannot be my full job, but I have fun with it, and so I get to get a lot of good feedback. I've gotten to know a lot of the locals, and they really make this place, to be 100% honest. They like to offer up suggestions, comments, but if you look around the bar, a lot of the Medina brewed beers, seeing how the crowd here certainly embraces those and enjoys them, it's been awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm getting thirsty, so
Let's do it.
Let's do number 1 here.
Yeah. So it was kind of the first one that obviously Matthias, Pete came together. Said first beer we want you to kind of knock out is just bring some sort of West Coast Pilsner on board.
Yeah.
So ain't nothing but a Pils thing. So,
Nice.
Obviously a nice clear beer, but extremely
clean.
dank for being such a light Pilsner. Very dank flavor on this one. So,
5.4.
5.4. Yep.
Very
so
easy drinking.
It's been kind of incredible watching the crowd that would normally drink like a Mexican light lager. This is kind of taken over a lot of that market down here, and it's for the longest time I didn't know how a kind of a hoppy Pilsner would do down here, and it's become one of the top sellers pretty quick.
Just kind of ease them into that hop profile.
So talk about that a little bit, because as we really got together and said, hey, this is what we kind of want to look at doing down here for a minute, and I love the style. I love a cold IPA, right? I love that concept. When looking at this beer, right, you mentioned dankness of it. It's been a minute since I've tried it, but it does. You're right. It does have kind of a dank flavor profile, but I wouldn't call it bitter by any stretch of the imagination, right? So that is the thing that's coming out. Some really great brewers in our area are brewing a West Coast Pils. What does that mean? Like, what's the difference between like an Italian Pils, a West Coast Pils, maybe a 5% West cold IPA, right? So maybe talk through some of those things and how we came up with this concept and why it's such a good beer. I mean, it's brewed well, it's clear, it has a great flavor profile to it. But why do you think this style in particular is kind of resonating here with the non crowd?
Yeah, so obviously being, more of the Pilsner Lager crowd that we have, typically around here. Now that is starting to change a little bit. We're seeing kind of an influx of IPA, demand down here right now. But, when you look at a West Coast Pilsner, obviously here I'm running a lot of lager yeast. And I'm fermenting, the difference between this one and like a cold IPA, which we have a cold IPA back in the fermenter right now. The difference would be with this one, I'm truly treating this as if it's a Pilsner. It's being fermented at Pilsner temperatures. The cold IPA that's 50 to 52 degrees. Usually you're not turning these around in 2 weeks. So, it would typically stay, around 50, 52 degrees for 7 to 10 days or so. It's going to get bumped up, let it naturally rise up to about 65, do a diacetyl rest, clean itself up a little bit, and then I actually do typically scale down on a smaller scale to do a cold crash. So I usually, not to the extreme of, I'm not here every day, so I'm not doing, 2 to 3 degrees a day. I might do, 6 or 7 degrees every day I'm down here, and then, letting it drop some. I don't want to stress that yeast out because we do like to take that yeast, 8 or so generations down here. I have been playing around with that quite a bit and certainly love to just experiment. Doing beers like that certainly gives me the opportunity to. So yeah, this one, to make a beer like this here in house, even with dry hopping obviously being 5.4%, you're not dry hopping it like you would a double hazy IPA. You can get away with, essentially, less than 1 pound per barrel. And to get a hop flavor like that. To pull through. So a beer like this takes roughly around 6 weeks to turn, to do it the right way like we did on this one. The cold IPA that I have back there right now, we brewed last week. That one I'm fermenting at 64, and then today I bumped it up at 68 degrees, so more of like an ale. And you'll see that that one will be out in a couple weeks or so, but that's not going to need the 6 weeks or so. That'll be ready in about 21 days total.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great beer. I would call this a session, wouldn't you say? Session
I
beer?
mean, yeah. if you told somebody it was a session IPA, they probably would not question you.
Yeah.
But when you hear, what people when they hear West Coast, they immediately think IPA.
Yeah.
And so when you throw the Pilsner behind it, it throws a little extra to it.
It's got a little bit more body than like a real thin session IPA.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's nice. It's really good.
Thanks.
Nice full-bodied Pilsner.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. That's
What
an
hops?
all-day drinker.
This one was Citra and Mosaic. And I can't believe when we first tapped this, weeks ago, the Citra really pulled through, and now it's almost like Mosaic is just dominating, but for as crisp as it is, you kind of want a little dankness to balance that. So.
Yeah. So now you mentioned like the patrons are kind of maybe starting to get an interest or a taste for some IPAs. That's interesting because we always talk about different areas like different beers, and I guess you're saying that can change over time, and that's you think that's your influence as a brewery?
If you look at this last weekend, the Ice Festival, our Ice Dragon, it was a hazy IPA this year. Mm-hmm. And we were down to the last keg. That made it less than a week.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's one of those things that it was advertised as a hazy IPA, but if you look at the IPAs and the hazy IPAs that we do have down here, usually they're in your 5 to 7% range. They're still on your lower side of a hazy,
right?
But it's one of those that the people that are drinking a pint of this are also going to drink a pint of that.
Yeah.
So if it's a gateway, then yes, we can call it a gateway. But we now know that we're always going to have either some sort of West Coast Pilsner or cold IPA down here at all time.
Yeah, and I think the moniker IPA makes people think bitter, but the hazies are very soft and very approachable from a bitterness standpoint, I think, and you get more of the flavor, especially your guys' hazies, in my opinion.
And I think this is around the 22 IBU
Yeah.
range.
Yeah.
So certainly not what you would imagine like a West Coast IPA, but certainly hoppier than a Medina Light.
Yes,
So.
for sure.
It still has hops in it, people.
Yeah, there's hops in it.
I mean,
Absolutely.
There's still some IBUs.
Yeah.
I know people, not in a very, very long time, but now that we're in Lorraine, people are asking, why don't you put your IBUs on the menu? I think for me, it's a really good reason, right? Because I think people associate in today's world an IBU to overall bitterness, right? And yes, there is some validity in that, right? But the way people are brewing today, there's no way you would look at that beer, that West Coast Pilsner, and people would say, well, how can a Pilsner be 22 IBUs? Yeah, it really isn't bitter on the level of what you might see a 22 IBU pale ale, right? Something along those lines
Yeah.
at any point in time. Again, from memory, it's just that light dankness, right? Kind of lets that Pils shine through, that full-bodied Pils. Pilsner malt still hanging out. It is lagered well. It is a lager, and done correctly at those cold temperatures and whatnot. And again, compared to the cold IPA, right, where we're hopping the shizibis out of it,
Yeah.
right, at all levels, like we do a hazy, right, multiple layers of hops, usually all on the cold side. Again, that's to get more of that juicy, fruity hoppiness out of it, where this is just like nice and balanced, very good pills. So, that's why I don't put the IBUs on. So you put a big fat stout on there, it's going to have 75, 80 IBUs at times.
Yeah.
Well, that's
You
because
wouldn't
we
even
just brewed them.
perceive 20 IBUs in a big old stout.
Not a perceived,
Yeah.
right? We just put a big fat lactose monster online, and you got to have some bitterness to back that up, or you're just gonna drink sugar water.
Right.
I mean, it already is sugar water,
Yeah.
at the time. So,
I mean, IBU is really, it's just one facet of
one
hops.
facet, right? And so, and again, I'm not saying that people aren't educated enough. Maybe our people aren't educated enough to talk through those things with people. And if you don't get to them right away, you get the first glance. You're like, oh, I won't like that because it's 22 IBUs. When in reality, I would say maybe the perceived bitterness is half of that, right? And vice versa. And some of our hazies, I would say some of our hazies are up in that 50-ish, 55 IBUs, 59 IBUs. And to be honest with you, their perceived bitterness is almost zero, right, to that point. They're juicy, they're flavorful, they're thick, they're wonderful mouthfeel. They're not bitter.
Plenty of hop character, though, but
Yeah,
just
correct.
not the bitterness.
Correct.
Yeah, even the cold IPA that we have back there right now, I didn't even throw anything in until I whirlpooled at 170 degrees on that. That is closer to me leaving out the back door for the day than it is, anywhere near the beginning of the boil of the beer. So, and even over time, IBUs, obviously, if somebody puts you an IBU on a menu, that is when it is fresh out of the tank and everything like that. IBUs, especially on, higher IBU beers, they trail off, a little bit. So you have that in there too, so.
Did you hear the train?
Yeah, I don't know,
Place.
probably not with the mics, but yeah, it was just
We are right
Sounded
beside
like
the
it
train
was-
tracks, and it's just a
sounded like it was
little
right
cool
above us.
environment, right? It's pretty, you can see it right out the window.
Yeah.
Right by our patio.
See, that kind of shakes the tanks and makes the yeast settle quicker, right? Yeah, I don't know.
Stirs those hops for me in that cold IPA.
I'm gonna talk about this next one. So,
Yeah, this is a great beer. I just finally had this last weekend.
One of the things that we talk about a lot is that I'm not brewing much at all anymore, right? Because we have so much else things to do. And so when we talk to both Mike and Pete and work through those things together, both of them are highly skilled on the turn and really do a great job here from start to finish. And honestly, it's a blessing to have two brilliant people brewing. And right now, obviously, it's kind of split up between how we kind of cultivate our yeasts. Avon does a lot of our hazies. It does have some Cali yeast thrown in there every now and then, but really just It's our hazy dominant. Keep that thing moving. Hazies, props, sweets, things like that. Down here, really lager heavy, because we're turning and burning lagers on a regular basis down here. But also, Medina does sell to the rest of our establishments, and so looking at that process, I have a way in which we do things, right? I think we talk about it quite a bit. I have an expectation for how we brew, temperatures and conversations and timing and what the finished product wants to be like. And so I think that across the board, that statement's always, what will Matthias think about what I'm doing and how it tastes, right? Yeah. Which is what we want. But also at the end of the day, there is some leeway and latitude with two people who are artistic, knowledgeable in their ability to brew, come up with recipes and collaborate and to do these things. And so pretty much right off the bat, these next 3 beers coming up are from, all 4 really. We just talked about the mode here, but down the line, less and less input as we went along. A little bit of input, no input, and really little to no input. Which is exciting, right? That's something that I think that you would garner some respect.
Yeah, certainly. Brewing is fun and natural, in general, but being able to be creative about it is a whole level of fun.
Yeah. And this beer, I want you to introduce everybody, has taken the Lorraine Brewing family by storm. We can't keep it on. It is crushing it in every location for very good reason. Introduce everybody, Bluey.
Yeah. So Bluey, honey blueberry ale. So this is one that honestly started out as a homebrew recipe years ago and kind of evolved over time. Just kind of little changes, little things I wanted to go with. I had been brewing here at Medina for a couple months already, and obviously getting to know the system, getting to know what ingredients I have on hand. I reached out to Matthias and Pete and my guys. I have everything to make a honey blueberry ale that I've been running for years. I don't need to buy a single thing. It's literally here. And we had I think it was tap space available right then. It was getting to into fall, beginning of winter there. Brewed it, and it is taken. Down here, it is incredible. Now it's admittedly kind of thrown a wrench into my brew schedule a little bit because
I keep saying, hey, brew it again.
Yeah, we need more. And I made a trip the other day to Lorraine and brought a keg up, but it was immediately within 10 minutes. You're already seeing notifications on Untappd that people are just running it already. So we have a couple regulars here, in Medina that are here several times a week, and they constantly say that this has become their favorite. It's I said it's a local favorite now, but we're seeing I think all the locations I think really enjoy it. I think niche, but not a niche, but it found its way because it's still along the lines of being a lighter, crisper beer. So
yeah. Now you have 2 young boys, correct? I didn't realize Bluey is a cartoon series, so I'm sure that's where it came from.
Well, same thing. Matthias and Pete and I, we have a really fun group text message when it comes to naming beers.
Yeah.
Oh, Pete is a wild man.
Yeah.
Pete will throw some zingers in there. But in this case, I think it was you that threw Bluey out there.
Oh yeah.
I was just honey blueberry ale. I'm just trying to keep it simple.
Blue Balls ale. Come on, somebody threw that out there. Yeah.
We went through Blues Clues, I think, was one that was thrown out there for a while. Yeah, Pete. Yeah. Pete, obviously has kids as well, so we're just trying to come up with stuff. So, Bluey stuck, and
yeah,
we've enjoyed it since.
No kids. I was unaware of this TV series, but I was going through Meijer and I saw a T-shirt, and I sent you guys a picture.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know.
In the show, we don't want to get too involved in copyright infringement, but they're all Blueys, right? Which is a style of puppy, right? So for us, it wasn't necessarily always a take on that. I'm sure when we create a logo, it will be very similar to that concept, right? But it really kind of hits the profile of the beer we wanted to talk to people about. We have several blueberry beers in our repertoire. We have a kind of a blueberry habanero blueberry. We have a blueberry mule, berry blue. So kind of keeping those things separate and knowing what we have names for already. Bluey really seemed to me a fun name, not really comedic, but a nice take on pop culture because it is a popular show.
Yeah.
But also wanted to talk about the fact that there is actual blueberries in it, right? It's not just a blueberry flavoring.
Serve it with.
We do serve some blueberries.
floating.
It's kind of one of those things you have to do when you say blueberry in a beer. It's kind of fun. It's the biggest brewery in our area does it. That's not why we did it, but it just people are going to ask for it, so we knew that headed in that was going to be the case. But this beer does highlight that clean, crisp beverage that people enjoy down here and across the board now in today's world as we kind of see that lighter side of things moving across the board. But it has that nice honey flavor and sweetness, right? So it is a honey ale,
Yeah,
which is
you
the whole
can-
point,
Yeah.
right? With real blueberries. But we'd also, Mike, his recipe didn't call for overpowering blueberry. It is there. It is a hint of blueberry. Blueberries without the sugar, right? The content you would get in some fake blueberries doesn't taste like that purple blueberry you see on the shelves. It's a nice earthy, wonderful flavor that, again, if we didn't put the blueberries in it, you would still have that hint of real blueberries. Almost like a nice roasted coffee has a little bit of hint of blueberry in it, that type of style. And so, it's just there, it's present, and people love it. And people are digging it. Nice
Super
job.
enjoyable beer. You got to try it before it's gone.
And it's one of those things. Obviously, as Matthias mentioned, there's a bigger brewery in the area that has I guess you'd say a beer that would serve as an inspiration for something like this. But I wanted it to be its own beer as well. If you look at the color of it, obviously obviously darker to appear from. I want it to be its own beer. And years and years of just kind of messing with the recipe a little bit, giving it more of a little bit more of a malty background, almost like a pie crust background to it a little
Moving
bit.
on to different beers, by the way. Now we're on a different beer now.
Oh yeah, same color almost.
Same color, right? So this one we took to Stout It Out Loud
Yes.
as a fun showing. One, because you don't want to enter this beer up alongside Butcher and the Brewer's Albino Stout, which is the kind of the heyday. And everybody does their own version of a white stout. It's just a fun thing to take when you talk about coffee and flavors and adding chocolate to a beer and kind of drawing out all those stouty flavors. But this is 100% your take on a beer. We walked through it and really came together on a name back and forth on really just saying what it is, like a latte, right? So,
Yeah.
some big coffee companies have golden lattes, and so that concept was there with the white chocolate, and call it the mocha. So golden mocha latte. So this is another one of Mike's creations. Golden mocha latte. People love it and dig it. So tell us about this beer. I stopped you, but keep on.
Yeah. So obviously, I'm not, admittingly a huge coffee drinker, but in beer, I think coffee has its place. And if you look at obviously a trend of lighter beers just being, really kind of not just the in thing, but really just taking over right now. A flavor like coffee plays really well with light beer, or lighter beers under 6.5%. But adding something a little bit more, another dimension to that. I think a lot of breweries have that coffee blonde or that coffee ale or something. So adding a little bit of white chocolate to it to really just round it out.
Yeah, I had not had this before. That is great. I like coffee cream ale, a coffee pale ale. But you're right, that sweetness totally changes it in a good way.
Yeah.
That's delicious.
Yeah. And same thing. I mean, it's been on tap here just for, I think, 2 weeks now. But the feedback here has been great. I think now it's now going to be up in Lorraine soon. If it's not already, it's going to be on tap there. So I'm interested to see now that it's getting out there, even further, what the feedback is, because the feedback here has been very positive so far. One of those that, you look around and you can still see quite a few people, enjoying this one as well. But obviously, still within kind of the realm of the lighter beers down here. It kind of fits. It wasn't necessarily one that we had everything ready for, but Matthias gave me the opportunity to be creative with it again. I kind of just gauging what the feedback is down around here. They wanted more coffee beers. They like their light beers down here, but they wanted just another variation. We gave them a blueberry version of a light beer. Give them a coffee one now.
I think. I hope you like being creative, because I think he's going to have you do more stuff like this, because these are great beers, man.
Thank you very much.
This isn't our first kind of white stout in our repertoire, right? We have a white night, which is a take on our dark night. But that's a big, heavy bomb, right? That's a 8 to 9%er. That is sweet. It is meant to be just in your face, big time beer. Medina, we brew a similar one. That's closer to 9. We call it White Christmas. Again, just that kind of warming, Christmassy White Christmas beer. But this, this is a brewed to be a 5.8, 6% beer. And it really does have that same process. And it is balanced to be that 6%. Coffee's balanced, the chocolate's balanced, the lactose is balanced. In no way would you consider this to be too sweet of a beer by any stretch of imagination.
It's not too chocolatey, it's not too coffee, it's not too sweet. Yeah, it's just in the slot.
Any of the kind of the beers we've gone through so far, I still ultimately, obviously adding the blueberry, adding the coffee or the white chocolate, I still want it to be a beer, though. And I think that's what I've always tried to, when I'm being creative when coming up with the recipes, it's still a beer. And I also want to brew beers that we're in a beer hall. We're in a nice big beer hall, and people want to be able to have more than one.
Yeah.
And so keeping it kind of with those guidelines is important.
Yeah, we had a show about moderation, and that can be, you can do that with fewer beers, or you can do that with a lighter alcohol beer, or hop water.
Soda hop tea. So it's vanilla and Palisade hops.
So those are good. Yeah.
Talk about the brew house.
Yeah. So coming down to the brew house here, it was similar system to kind of what I had brewed on in the past, but I think what makes it unique down here is I literally brew in front of the crowd.
Yeah.
And being that I'm here, brewing on Saturdays or Sundays, it allows me to interact a lot with the local crowd, and I get a lot of questions, and everybody, a lot of the residents here, the locals here know that they can approach me and ask questions while I'm brewing. And it's kind of been nice to have that interaction.
You ever get any cat calling? Hey boy, take off your shirt.
Yeah,
brew some beer.
By that point, I'm usually drenched in sweat, and usually, there's no cat calling at that point.
Too bad.
Dave will come down and cat call you. Let's go, big boy.
I mean, who knows? After this, it might start. If it starts, I'll let you know. Yeah, there you go.
That's more than cat calling, Dave. That's
too much.
No, it's fine.
Is that harassment? No.
Only if you don't like it, buddy.
But the brew house here, four fermenters in a lagering tank. The lagering tank is the game changer. As somebody that home brews, we never really have that need of our at home. Your stuff just settles out pretty quick.
Yep.
When you're talking about a vertical fermenter, you can add biofine that, or you can crash it, and a month later it's going to look about the same. But you put in that lagering tank, and it clears fast. And how we can flip the lagers fast for Lorraine or Madison or anything like that is through the horizontal lagering tank.
And that's something that's important to know. We did it on purpose down here, obviously, right? We tried to put double stacked. We ran into height issues with the ceiling. They had to run some pipes up there for fire prevention that were not in the original plan, so we had to send one back. But one has been sufficient for what we're doing down here. And a lagering tank, if you've seen many of the brew houses we go see throughout our travels, they are the horizontal, vertical up and down, conical fermenters mainly in most areas. And most of those are really good for ales and and stouts, also ales. But when you really brew a solid lager, and when you go to places that really want to do that, like Butcher has some of those lagering tanks, Noble Beast, Masthead, places that can do that, makes a huge difference. And these are those tanks that are laid on their almost like a bright tank laid on its side, right? Yeah. It's not conical in any way. And what does that matter in terms of brewing a lager?
Surface area. So that's
What does that mean, surface area?
So when you're trying to clarify beer, I mean, if you're telling somebody you're going to drink a light lager and it's going to come out looking like a hazy IPA, you're going to get some looks. And so one of those things with a horizontal lagering tank, there's less surface area, so that yeast and everything that's in suspension has less area that it needs to get through to settle at the bottom and kind of cake at the bottom. Same thing if you go to Germany or most of Europe, the breweries are going to have horizontal lagering tanks. I mean, everywhere. Matthias mentioned some of the big names in the area here, and it's a given. If you want to make top-notch, crystal clear beers in a decent amount of time, and not just worry about kegging everything out and waiting for it to settle in a keg, then the horizontal lagering tank is certainly the way to go.
Yeah, because you're using top fermenting yeast or bottom fermenting yeast, and it kind of lays at the bottom, and it settles itself out throughout the whole course of that whole tank, not just in the cone.
Yep. So,
and we did invest in that down here for the very reason of brewing lagers for Medina, but also as we distribute out and about.
Yeah. And as we're flipping beers, another thing that's been I'd say really nice about being down here is the serving tanks. So all the beers that are brewed on site from Medina that stay in Medina, pretty much all go into a serving tank in the walk-in cooler. I can put something in the horizontal lagering tank and just keep it there for just a couple days, transfer that serving tank, and it's ready to go by the next week. I mean, it's crystal clear and ready to go.
Yeah, so the difference is, a lot of places keg their beer out and put it in a cooler and let it sit in a keg. Here in Medina, we have this massive cooler, which is chock full of serving tanks. There's a bunch of Brights just hanging out, and we serve off of those. So we're talking about 10 to 12 kegs of beer in one vessel. So it pull direct draw right off the side of the tap. So literally our taps come right out of the cooler. It's just the cooler wall difference. So you kind of push through that, and so you get one tank, all the beer, and works out well for our staff. Works out well for producing product here. Again, Medina has about 6 exclusives that are down here all the time because we do have those 6 serving tanks. So people ask the question a bunch, what's going on in Medina, what do they have? So pretty much 6 of the beers are brewed specifically here for Medina. We do take some elsewhere, but they're here. They're Medina beers.
Yep. Yeah, and that's, from whenever I'm taking, friends, families, anybody like that on a tour, the brew house, I've seen brew houses. Then you open up the walk-in cooler is massive to begin with, but then they see those serving tanks. Like, whoa, it is kind of cool to see. And like I said, it adds that element of being able to clarify beers a little quicker. Just horizontal lagering tank into the serving tank. A couple days later, you have a beer ready to go.
Not to mention the time saved cleaning kegs, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
thanks,
wow.
Peter.
So, we've had a couple beers here. We got one more to go. What, since you've been brewing here, what beer do you brew down here that you're the most proud of? Would you say?
Probably, Bluey being a big one. The Golden Mocha Latte, I think, just from being such a simple beer, but being so complex in flavor. Bluey, obviously just the success of that one, but the Golden Mocha Latte just because of the feedback we've gotten so far on it, that you have people that are coffee drinkers are like, oh, all of a sudden there's a coffee beer. Yeah, I'm going to order that no matter what. Or they want a dessert beer. Oh, I'll get that because it's a little sweeter. I'm proud of that one just because of the balance of that one.
Yeah, you should be. It's good.
This one might, the one coming out, literally just carved this one up today. It is just now, I guess you'd say, ready. But this one will probably get up there too. Obviously, being a Bach, that's the last one we have here. 7%. So usually you don't see that high ABV come through the lagering process and make its way through Medina.
Yeah.
But for 7%, and kind of the mix of grains that we have in there, I mean, Crystal 120 that kind of gives a little bit of a plum and fig note to it and stuff like that, and it's a malty beast for being a lager per se.
Yeah, I mean,
that's nice.
You can smell all of those flavors he just mentioned to you, just right off the nose, right off the rip. This is a beer that we just brewed. We have not named it yet. It is currently just named Bach.
What's in the running? Come on, let me.
We haven't even got a group text out, right?
Oh.
I mean, we've had a Bach before. We do a. This is right around that time for a spring Bach. Does that name? Who knows, right? One of my son's favorite animals was a spring Bach.
Yeah.
But the names are up for grabs. We'll have a little text chat and.
Okay. All right.
All right, name the beer. We'll do that today. We'll get us some suggestions out there. I'm gonna check our Facebook feed and see if anybody has
Kick
said
it over
anything.
to Pete. He'll come up with something crazy.
He will. Pete did get one name through.
Yeah, under
Ken.
the radar. Oh yeah, don't F with Ken.
Don't F with Ken.
So beer you're proud of. What is your favorite beer that you like to drink that you brew here? Not necessarily the same thing.
Honestly, the Mexican lager. I love Mexican lagers, and that one is a beer that's, I'd say, always evolving.
Yeah.
We've Pete and I kick back and forth ideas on IBUs on that. We make touch-ups on kind of the grain bill for it a little bit. The version that's out here right now is not the version that was out here a year ago. It's not the next version that's going to be out in 3 months.
Yeah.
That one's one that we really like to take feedback on and make adjustments to. Lagers are tough because of the complexity and anything that goes wrong in the lagering process, or you can pick up a flaw really quick.
It's super obvious. Yeah.
And we get a lot of compliments on the lagers here, being real clean, real crisp. But when you're the person that brewed it, you can pick out pretty quick what's the first thing I would change about that. But if I'm here enjoying a shift beer or anything like that, it's usually going to be a Mexican lager.
Yeah, those are nice beers, especially coming up. Well, not really. We got a lot of winter left, but I'd like to think summer's right around the corner, and those are perfect. Sitting on the beach. Getting wrecked on the deck. I'm not getting wrecked on the deck anymore, Matthias. Don't make me.
I promise.
I'm okay. I'm cutting back.
Have you seen the patio at Lorraine yet?
I have. That's going to be bad, dude. That's going to be real bad.
Plaster on the patio, around the water.
What do we come up? Something on the deck. Something on the dock. Rocked on the dock.
Rocked on the dock. Oh yeah,
LBC,
dock bar.
yeah.
Rocked on the dock.
Yeah.
Is that what you said out the other day? We have some comments online. Let's see.
Get bocked on the dock.
Rick Bell says he's drinking sake right now. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Bocked on the dock.
Bocked on the dock. It's the dock bock.
The dock bock. We'll work on
Denise says, so Maria says golden mocha latte is phenomenal beer. Denise said that's what I'm drinking right now, and she is on her second pint. Jack says, and Janelle, we miss you all. Let's see what else we got. More conversation between Denise and Maria. Maria says Bluey is also delicious. John Gerber said Mike's Brew rocks. Jerry Perman, no relation, says the Pilsner is awesome. And then Dustin, of course, thanks for checking in, Dustin.
Oh, yeah,
it's a great beer. So across the board, I think that's a definite statement, man. You're kicking butt down here. I'm excited for what you've done, what we're going to continue to do. As you mentioned, the Mexican lager, kind of not revamping, but just ingredients change and mix up. And, we do use that Bloody Butcher corn, what that could play out, and how that kind of hits the tone. Someone said the other day, what's the difference between the Mexican lager and your light lager? A lot, right? I said, well, I can't tell the difference. He's also 7 or 8 beers in, so it kind of flipped that script on that one. But yeah, you're rocking our brew house. It was a good, easy transition for you, brewing the same system before. This one has this little idiosyncrasies too, just based on space and what we had to bring in. Small, it still is an oversized 5. You do have rakes.
Yes.
which is helpful.
Yes.
So we did get, in this tiny little brew house, we did get you a 5-barrel brew house with rakes,
Yes.
a rake and plow system.
The rakes, I mean, is a one-man operation on a brew day. I mean, I was kind of walking it through some of the staff. The staff here is always, being especially on Sundays, always intrigued, watching me brew, and we're talking about getting a staff brew day here in the next couple of weeks going to kind of get everybody else involved. But they're like, you hardly break a sweat until it comes time to rake out. And I'm like, well, it's the rakes and just everything like that. It's so automated for the most part. So even from the entire space, the thought of it and the design. I mean, you think it's a smaller space, but the flow of it, is just nice. It has a flow and it makes it easy. You don't really feel confined. Maybe height-wise a little bit sometimes, but I'm not the tallest guy, so for me it's never an issue. I haven't had to hit my head on anything yet. So
we squoze a big brew house in an itty bitty tiny space.
Yeah.
But that little area is about 1,000 square foot, a little bit more, and built on purpose to do exactly what you're doing, which is to brew when people are around, see the tanks. It's one of those things that we've always wanted to do. In Avon, we ended up having to buy the building beside us for lots of reasons. What we're doing in Lorraine now, just really having it right on site and seeing the magic happen right here in this building. We have it lit up at night with nice colorful lights, so it's a showpiece, but it's also a showpiece that's used. So come down here on Saturdays and Sundays and any other days that Mike's brewing and see the magic happen down here. Ask him questions, cat call if you need to, smell the boots, whatever it looks like. So how's that boiler treating you?
I don't want to talk about that.
Let's not talk about that. Those things are a pain in the butt. But I appreciate you.
Another shout out to how awesome the bar staff is. They know that I'm going to be here 6, 7 a.m. on Sunday, and it's there, closing down and mopping the floors and everything at midnight, 1 in the morning. They go over and reset that thing for me, and everything's ready to purr and go at 6, 7 in the morning on Sunday. So
that's good, because if not, that's a pain in the butt.
That's an hour and a half delay right there. Ooh. So kudos to the amazing staff.
Yeah, team effort here at Medina, by the way.
Liz and the entire team at the bar staff here at Medina Brewing.
And Liz is here. She's not coming over. She's supposed to say hi, but Liz, what? We're gonna make her come over. Liz is the heart and soul of our Medina Brewing operation. You have to say hi.
Hi.
Liz, heart and soul of Medina Brewing, has been here since we opened the doors. Thank you so much for all you do. We were just talking about this being a collaborative effort and our staff helping them out by turning the boiler on Saturday nights. And really, if you would have been here, it was busy tonight too, but this past weekend, you couldn't get in the door. That happens a lot here.
This weekend.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ice Festival is a great time for our brewery.
Lots of stuff happening. So thank you so much for all you do.
I appreciate it.
Liz, everybody, wave, say hi, all the things. So can you scoochy scooch?
Not just my boobs.
Oh, jeez, Louise. Can't take her anyway. Can't put her on live just for a second. You got Dave over here smelling boots and cat calling people. Liz talking about the bits and all the things. That's what makes Medina wonderful, I guess, right? We're good now?
Yeah.
Anything you want to share with anybody?
No.
Up and coming things?
We got St. Patrick's Day coming up. We got a pub crawl going on March 15th. That goes from 12 to 12. We got a DJ going on during the day. It'll be great. We're open St. Patrick's Day Monday, the 17th. Mm-hmm. We have music starting also at 3 o'clock. We're also going to have some great drink specials. We got a couple Irish beers on. Always a great time out here.
And there's also events. There's trivia.
We got trivia every other Tuesday. Trivia will be coming up this Tuesday with Carter. That's always a fun thing. We're going to do Name That Tune. That's great.
Lindsay comes down and does some painting things with people and crafty things.
Coming out too. Yes.
I did share that. Grassroots will be here on February 24th, which is next Monday, 6:30. The post is up on our page. Sign up for them. Absolutely. They have a few spots left open.
Yes.
It's a pretty cool sunflower mirror paint and sip at Medina Brewing Company.
Absolutely.
Live music every Friday and Saturday, sometimes on Thursday.
Yes. Sunday all-day happy hour.
What? That's crazy. Who does that? We do that, right?
We do.
I mean, plus we also have really great food options with Big Dog Daddies, which we also want to share that too. They're open on Wednesday through Sunday. Correct. Best barbecue in town. Get that right here.
Not to mention paired with our award-winning beer.
Got to mention that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, lots of collaborations happening. So get yourself down to Medina, 320 South Court Street, just south of the square.
In the basement.
Right by the tracks, right below Keller Meats area. So check us out.
Yes.
Come say hi to Liz and crew, and then watch this guy brew.
Absolutely. Come see us.
Thank you, Liz. Made her get on camera. It's fine. She's going to hate me. Make me quit. So, Dave, what's going on in the homebrew world, brother?
Nothing.
At all,
the garage
nothing?
is 5 degrees, dude. I can't brew out there.
You have a space heater? You don't have
I got a little heater, but
So if you buy her the Jeep, maybe you can put a heater out there.
yeah.
Heat the brew house.
Yeah. Shut up, Matthias. Pipe down over there.
She's not listening now, but hopefully she'll replay it and watch the things going on.
We'll do something.
Are you still homebrewing at all? Or are you just... Oh my gosh, tell us what's going on.
So yeah, maybe 1 or 2 times a month. I did brew last week at home, and I did a step mash. Obviously, I do the trip to Germany through work every year.
Yep.
And I spent a lot of time at breweries in Germany. At my 9 to 5, it was the weekends mostly, but picked up a lot from the brewers over there. I always try to learn as much as I can. So I ran a Hefeweizen step mash, and it's a open fermentation vessel in my brew room at home. So still got that's where I get creative. That's
dedicated
where,
to the craft, baby.
That's where
Get a coal ship here at Medina, maybe?
where we got room.
Maybe.
We don't need bands for a little while.
We'll put no bands in here. We'll do a portable. Yeah,
exactly.
Why not? It happens here. And the best part of Medina too. I mean, you stand and order your beer right by all of our grain.
Yeah.
So this is a working brewery. Touch, see, smell the whole thing. It's wonderful. So
Yeah. So it's once or twice a month maybe at home. That's why I got to keep the ideas fresh. I got to keep them coming.
Absolutely.
So
That's awesome.
yeah.
this guy, diamond in the rough. It's diamond in the rough. I dig it. So let's talk about Stout Out Loud real quick. We have a chance.
Yeah, I
Dave
want to talk
didn't make
about that.
it,
Yeah.
but I think there were 27 breweries, something like that, high 20s.
Yeah. so
Everybody brought their A game. Most people brought 1 or 2 beers to kind of sip on. One was a contest beer. We ended up bringing peanut butter stout, the Better Together. We brought the Abuela Mexican Imperial Chocolate Stout, and we brought the mocha, the golden mocha latte, which fan favorite too. I mean, obviously people were coming up and saying, "Hey, I heard you have Mexican hot chocolate beer. Hey, I have a golden stout." And that's those things we went through a lot of beer that day. And it was a lot of fun to hear people's feedback, to have you and Pete there to kind of just take any answers and questions. Got a chance to walk around and sample some of the other people's wares. And just like all these events, people bring their A game.
So, we had, who took third? Was that Schnitz with their pastry.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
And copy and pastry.
The beers at that event are always just incredible. I mean, when Matthias said A game, I mean you're talking the best in the area to begin with. Let alone stuff that they've been crafting and putting together for no less than a year.
Yeah.
If you look at like Columbus Brewing got second, and it was a vintage 2013 or 2023 vintage Steel Dawn barrel that that they ran that through. It's one of those that everybody's already game planning for next year, and if they haven't brewed it, then they're about ready to.
Yeah. Noble Beast with their cookies and cream took first.
It did, but that was a blend of 4 barrel-aged stouts, aged again over 18 months. That beer was definite winner across the board, right? In terms
There was
of
some other brewery that took the People's Choice Award.
Yeah,
I don't know. Some other
I
brewery,
said that was the most important thing, right?
Yeah, right.
That people who were there to the event, who paid good money to show up, try everybody's big stouts, came back to us and said, wow, that beer's awesome. Wow, that beer's awesome. And to take the time, scan your QR code, to vote for those things, and to come out as people's champion.
And that's
a big deal. That was our
Abuelas
yeah.
Mexican. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a big deal for us. I think that's a huge undertaking, kind of just being the brewery of the people, right? We didn't come out on top with the professional judges panel, but 3 barrel-aged beers won. It's kind of been the name of the game over the last couple of years, is the barrel-aged beers tend to be looking for. We're just not in that place right now, but I think that what we did bring to the table was wonderful for people. They thought it was a great options for them, and they showed that out by telling the world that, hey, we win on that one.
Yeah,
so,
this one needs attention, yeah.
I'm excited about that. So that was a big deal for us to put it online. Share that, please. Our family of breweries got together and did a great thing. So great job, Pete. Great job, Mike. Awesome stuff along the way. We have some local happenings before we run out of time today. You mentioned it once. I think Sound Out Loud is a niche, right, for those big bomb stouts. But if you want to go to a beer fest, a brew fest, that is literally the best breweries in Ohio, mainly Northeast Ohio, to try 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of their beers. It is Winter Warmer, right?
Yeah.
And that's coming up March 1st. And the tickets are on sale right now, OCBA.
Yes.
Check them out.
They did just send out an email last week about a low ticket warning.
Woo!
So I think it's sold out how many years now? And so it looks like this year might be a pre-sale sellout.
Dang, that's a big deal. Yeah, it's been sold out forever, but pre-sale sellout is ridiculous. Yeah. So get your tickets if you don't have them already. You will not regret it. It is the show to go to, I promise. We're going to bring, I think 8 beers to the event.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention this for Tom, because he's not here, but I got his spreadsheets, and he needs answers.
Tom, it's not till March 1st,
How many beers are we bringing? How many tables? Are we going to have tents? Are we going to have lights? How are we going to do this, man?
Tent, lights, tables, jockey boxes.
Jockey boxes.
I'm going to lean on these guys to do some of that stuff, get us ready.
And cans.
Kegs, cans,
Tom
jockey
needs answers.
boxes.
I'm getting answers for you, Tom.
I just told you. What beers we're bringing, we're still hitting it up, mainly because this beer might be something we want to bring out the Bach. Maybe we want to throw down that golden milk latte. Heck, maybe Blue may make a showing because it's just been killing it. So
there's
maybe
not
all
be
4
any
of these
Bluey
beers
left.
will be
That's
on
going to be gone. We're going to drink it out tonight.
Yeah, we're only taking one brewery this year. We've taken more than one brewery in the past. We're just doing the one. But we are one of the main sponsors of the event, Medina Brewing Company Event Center. So we'll have a nice space. We'll have up to a large number of products to pass out to people. I think there's a VIP still. I'm not sure that's sold out, but VIP. And then there's also the general admission. So we'll be sold out.
Yeah, VIP sold out.
VIP sold out. Man, I'm telling you, it is the one to go to. So if you have not got your tickets yet, you should do that. 100%. 3-1, Winter Warmer, OCBA.com. Get your tickets now. That's my plug. Any other beer news we got? Check out Northeast Ohio Craft Brewery News. Rob and team do a great job of keeping up to date on all things beer-related news, openings, closings, releases. They're doing the March Madness. And boom, what's going on in March Madness for you?
Bluey is doing well right now. So thank you to everybody here locally. Thank you for the support of everyone watching that has voted one vote in the top 40 right now. So continuing to do well.
Nice. We're pulling for you.
Let's get it. Vote for Bluey. Keep it up. I think the Manganeers are on the border, but we don't push that a whole lot. Excited for the Bluey thing to happen. So awesome. Good stuff. Anything in the music world?
Well, I did see Billy Morris is playing at the Lorraine Palace Theater this Sunday. It's a show that benefits what did I write here? Voices of Valor.
Oh, yes, I saw
Valor
that
House.
Yeah.
It's for homeless veterans. The house, it's like get people off the street. So it's a good charity. And there's a bunch of different artists playing. He's just one of them.
Billy and crew always support our servicemen and women, so that's a wonderful thing. Awesome.
So,
and I think we'll probably put something out there. If you can go to the show, stop at LBC beforehand.
Yes.
pregame with some food and beverage and head over to support a great cause.
Check out that award-winning Abla's Mexican hot chocolate stout.
Yep. On tap
Yeah.
at Lorraine Brewing Company.
Yeah,
Good plug. Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
sure. We got to talk about what's coming up next because we finally know like some things that are coming up next week. We have George and Matt from 8th Day coming into the studio.
Yeah, that was a great
Going
episode.
to join us, get podcasty, get crazy. They're going to bring some beers, and we're going to have some fun. Then on March 5th, which is actually a Wednesday.
We're skipping.
Yeah, we're skipping Tuesday, going Wednesday to be at Hofbrauhaus for Northeast Ohio Craft Brewery News' tapping of their hoppy lager.
Yep.
So we're going to be out with Josh, and Rob will be there.
Yep.
And that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I
It's gonna
hope
be a
we
lot of
get
fun.
Josh back in studio after that.
Hopefully,
He's definitely
yeah.
excited about being a part of what we're doing, and he had a great beer that day. I mean, a great beer
Yeah,
that at the Stout Out Loud. Honestly, it was fantastic.
I missed it.
So off the record for what he did there because he's kind of stuck to the Hofbrau rules, but killer beer. Well done, sir.
So we got some other people that want to come on the show.
Yeah.
We just got to nail them down. So we're into March. We're scheduling stuff up for March.
It's not week by
and
week.
April.
We're not flying by the seat of our pants.
Yeah,
today.
I know. We got a sort of a plan.
That's good. Hey, if we made any errors or mistakes, or you want to know more information on Mike or the brew house here in Medina, what's going on in tap, or if you're really offended by Dave wanting to smell his boots and catcalling him, I'm not, but if you are, you can email us at blabbermalt@gmail.com and tell us what's going on, or name the Bach.
Yeah, name the Bach. I like Bach on the dock.
Bach on the dock.
Bach on the dock.
Or, yeah, whatever, that's fine. We're going to hold off on that.
It's not great.
Any last words, my man?
Not really. Just a lot of great opportunities coming up for fun beer festivals and other beer happenings and events, and obviously, it's been great here so far. For the last couple of months here at Medina Brewing. Looking forward to what we have coming forward. If anybody's here when I'm here, recognize me. Feel free to say hi or ask me questions. Don't sniff my boots or anything that we've talked about. But
Anything weird.
catcall. Catcall. I don't know about that either. But thank you.
Hey, thanks for hosting us, man. It's been a great time. Thanks for sharing your beers. These
Yeah.
are great.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode. Get the name out.
Yes.
See what's going on in Medina. And Mike and crew here and team and Liz who came over and said hi. We appreciate it. Dave, where do they find us at if they didn't catch it live tonight?
Hey, we're on Spotify. That's probably the best place. Or Facebook or YouTube. We're the BlabberMalt Show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get it done, everybody. Until next time, guys. Stay
Stay
malty,
malty,
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
We're done. Stop.